If you've ever wanted proof that I'm the most honest movie reviewer on YouTube right now, then this is the video for you. Before I get started, I'd like to kindly ask that you hit the like button and please subscribe to the channel for more content just like this.
Pretty please, with sugar on top.
I've made it no secret that I'm a huge supporter of Zack Snyder, and I always will be. And I think everyone who's interested in supporting Zack and formulating their own opinion, of course, should go and stream Army of the Dead right now. That being said, I have to be honest because otherwise, what are we doing here? Zack Snyder's Army of the Dead was a bit of a misfire for me. The reality is that I just didn't connect with this movie like I have with other Zack Snyder movies.
A what?
Don't get me wrong, his amazing visual storytelling is still on display here. All the zombie action sequences in this movie are well done and entertaining to different degrees. Zack even created yet another memorable opening sequence, which has kind of become his calling card at this point. In fact, this particular opening sequence I kind of wish would have been the movie itself. Seeing the fall of Las Vegas during a zombie outbreak would have been much more interesting, in my opinion, than what we actually got.
No shit.
They make attempts in this movie to add an emotional core, and that's mostly with Dave Bautista's character and his daughter. I would probably venture a guess and say that Zack based this relationship on his own relationship with his daughters, so it's very personal for him, and I respect that. But the execution didn't quite let this story resonate with me on a deeper level. I might be going out on a limb here, but I'm not 100% sold on the idea of Dave Bautista as a leading man. He does an okay job with some of the emotional scenes that he has in the movie, but he doesn't really have the charisma or the gravitas that pulls me into the characters that he plays. And I'm sure there's a lot of people who don't agree with that, but based on my experiences, I just can't connect with any of his characters.
You about to cross some fucking lines.
Guys.
In fact, Dave Bautista's character aside, a few of the characters in this movie actually kind of annoyed me. There's one character, I actually forget her name, but she's the helicopter pilot. She just came off as obnoxious to me. I feel like I say this a lot for modern movies, but when they have these characters that are supposed to be badass, but then it plays out on screen and it's just not believable to me. That was kind of the case with Army of the Dead, and maybe it's just a casting thing, I don't know. I thought Omari Hardwick's character was probably the most believable as a badass. I actually feel like he might have been better suited for the lead than maybe even Bautista. I think he has a little bit more depth as an actor, and I think he can pull off the emotional stuff as well as the badassery in a more believable way. This could be because I'm used to watching him on Power, and I really like him on that. I found the German safe-cracking character, and I don't really remember his name either, but I found him pretty entertaining. Actually, the relationship between Omari's character and the German was kind of the highlight of the movie as far as characters go, in my opinion. Even if we've already seen that kind of relationship play out on screen in many other movies many times before. The plot of this movie involves a team going into a quarantined, zombie-infested Las Vegas to extract some money from a casino safe before the whole town is obliterated by nukes.
Big ass titties!
In this movie, the zombie outbreak was contained to just Las Vegas because the outbreak originated from some weird shit going on at Area 51. So basically, the rest of the world is fine, and that's why the dollar still means something in this movie. Although I did find it amusing that they have these news broadcasts, and they talk about how human rights people are against the idea of the government dropping nukes on Las Vegas. That's just about the most 2021 subplot I think I've ever heard in my life. As this plot plays out, I noticed a lot of logic gaps in what was going on. Again, I'm not going to get into spoilers with this review, but there was more than one occasion where I was questioning why characters were doing the things that they were doing, or why things were happening in the way that they were happening.
But why?
And then we have the zombies, and I have to be honest, I'm not a fan of the whole intelligent zombie idea that Hollywood seems to keep pushing. I know it was in the Romero films as well, but I didn't really care for it there either. Don't get me wrong, they do a solid job of setting up the world and setting up the rules for the particular zombies in this universe. But I just kept thinking, if these zombies are so much smarter and faster and stronger, then how is it that they're not able to figure out how to get over shipping containers and out of the city? It wouldn't seem to be that big of an obstacle for the zombies as they are portrayed in this movie.
That makes sense.
Also, these zombies show emotion, and they're able to, let's just say, express their love to one another. I'm sorry, call me a traditionalist, but I'm fine with zombies just being brain dead running or walking corpses that just like to eat people. I appreciate the attempt to try and reinvent them, but sometimes if something's not broke, there's no need to fix it. I'm just personally not into the thinking man zombie with emotions idea. There is great use of music in this movie. We get a lot of Elvis, which makes sense because the movie takes place in Vegas, obviously. Also, a big shout out to the way they use the Cranberries song Zombie in this movie. I thought it was an excellent choice and brilliantly placed where it was placed in the movie.
I like it a lot.
This movie does kind of set up the possibility of a sequel, and I just don't know that I'm interested in seeing that. I'd honestly much rather WB just restore the Snyderverse. Sorry, I had to get that in there. Overall, I just didn't like Army of the Dead as much as I was hoping to. There's some great visuals and action sequences that Zack Snyder is known for, but the story just left me so uninterested at times that I actually checked out of the movie a couple times. Which is not something that I thought I would ever say about a Zack Snyder movie, but again, I have to be honest. Snyder fans will and should continue to support Zack. I know I will, but I think people need to learn to be able to criticize things that they're a fan of. I don't like every single movie that Steven Spielberg ever made. I don't like every single movie that Christopher Nolan ever made, but I still think they're both amazing at what they do. Just because someone that you are a fan of makes a movie doesn't mean that you have to connect with that movie by default. I think sometimes, especially when it comes to movie criticism, I think we need to learn to be a little bit more honest with ourselves. Honestly, it's okay to just say that something Zack Snyder made just didn't work for me. That's why I'm going to give Army of the Dead the Careless Sam Gerard.
I don't care!
So have you seen Army of the Dead? If you have, let me know what you thought about it in the comments down below. As always, like, comment, share, subscribe to the channel, hit that bell for notifications, and I'll see you next time right here on Real Shift. Thanks for watching. Peace out.
Y'all be cool. Shut up.